talking about the dollar crashing is scary. And every now and then we have an individual come in and they kind of bring that up, or they have concerns about that. You know, I think back in time, and I think those concerns maybe stem from a couple different areas. One, if you remember back when the government started quantitative easing, or QE, people talked about it, you know, that generated some current concerns. I mean, the printing of money and stuff like that, and making more of it. And people are wondering, wow, you know, what does that do to the dollar in my pocket? The other time I think back into is like 1971, when the United States got off the gold standard. A lot of people go back to that and say, oh boy, you know, what's really backing our dollar anymore? You know, so when you think of a currency crashing, you know, really what that means is the users of that currency, right, have lost faith in that it really is meaningful, and it's lost its purpose as a general exchange and to be able to purchase goods. So therefore, the dollar bills in your wallet or purse then become useless or less valuable than they did before, right? So what does that mean? Well, the U.S. currency is really valued against other currencies in the world. Currently, the U.S. dollar is used for exchange on the international market. So like commodities and stuff like that, exports, are bought and sold with U.S. currency. So they compare that to other currencies. So when you hear the dollar is getting weaker, well, it's getting weaker in comparison to other currencies. Stronger? Obviously, it's getting stronger in comparison to other currencies. So a weaker dollar does make our exports more attractive, so it's not always bad, but us as consumers typically want a strong dollar. So you look at, if we have a, let's say, devaluing currency, if we ever got into that situation, maybe where would you look at that? Well, one, since we're valuing against other currencies, what other currencies are doing well? You know, maybe it'd be something to look at international currencies if that was the case. You hear all the time commercials on TV, you know, buy gold and silver, the dollar is crashing, or something along those lines. Potentially, looking back over time, gold and silver have been a relative hedge against that. But like any investment, you know, we don't want to put all of our eggs in that one basket. So other things, you know, looking at like real estate or certain commodities, you know, more harder assets, and a lot of times when you have a devaluing dollar. If you're interested in stocks, considering stocks that maybe have a multinational spread, you know, they're getting their incomes from all over the place, not just in the U.S. Maybe looking at international or emerging markets during that time, you know, if the U.S. dollar is particularly struggling. So when we look at this, it's just one of those maybe black swan events out there that potentially could happen. And how is your retirement plan positioned for this? Once again, if this is something that's concerning you, have you had this conversation, and do you know what your particular investments would react? So once again, as we always offer, free, no obligation visit here with any of our advisors in our 4 locations here in Northern Michigan. We'd love to sit down with you to help you plan to retire well.